All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Alan Thomas, aka Shadosassins. Sorry. And right now I'm doing I guess I'm going ahead and painting the second page of Infinite Uppercut in real time. Just to have something to show off for everybody. And I guess to show my work process a little bit. For anybody that's interested in, I guess, how I make the comic itself. So just to let you know, because at certain points I'm going to need to be, I guess, concentrating and whatnot. There will be points of this when I'm silent. It's been a while since I've done anything like this, but I know just from doing it before, I have intermittent moments where I'm not really saying anything. Just because I get in the zone and I start to get really focused. So it's just hard to find things to babble about. Also, I also apologize ahead of time because I'm fighting a cold right now. So if you keep catching me like cough or anything like that while I'm doing this, that's why, like I said, I apologize ahead of time. I'm not sure when anybody that's watching this would be watching, but if you're not necessarily familiar with my comic, which if you're watching this as I'm posting it, which would of course be before the comic has come out yet, if you're wondering if this person is actually sitting on the toilet right now, that's because they are. Stuff like this was sort of, well, I don't know if this will make sense. I was about to say this will sort of make more sense or piece itself together once you read the full comic, but it kind of still won't. This does serve a purpose, but yeah, I was about to say like this would, like, oh, you don't understand right now, but this will make more sense down the line. It's like, no, it won't. It's just the guys, like, he's using the toilet and things are about to start happening. It's stuff like this that really makes me analyze my life and really appreciate how much I love what I do. I can't think of any other facet of life that would just allow me to sit up and, I don't know, just, like I said, it's a guy that's, I'm drawing a ridiculous, almost comedic martial arts comic, and it's starting off with a guy taking a crap. It's like, I don't know in any other way in life that I could be doing such a thing and enjoying myself this much. Like, this is so ridiculous. I never in a million years thought that this is where I would be. In my late 20s, drawing somebody taking a crap and having the time of my life. Like, this is so absurd, but in any event. And just to also give myself more things to run out of, I guess, to run out of things to talk about at the start of this. What I'm currently doing is going ahead and starting in my line art. So I'm getting all the black lines in for my comic before I go back in and color it. And then do all the little details like the shading and the highlights and whatnot. Also, there's a because it just happened, and I'm not sure if this is being picked up on the microphone or not. By the way, I also need to get a better microphone. But in any event, if you can hear a helicopter in the distance, that's because I sort of live about, I'd say like a good 15 minutes or so from an Air Force base. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason today, there have been a lot of helicopters flying past my house. So yeah, that's what you're hearing in the background. If just like you hear like a plane or a helicopter sound, like that's all that is. I'm not sure if it's being picked up on the mic or not. What was I talking about? I think I was just mentioning how I was doing the line art first. Oh yeah, for these particular panels on this page, this is actually page 2 of my comic, and I'm sort of just freely not paying anything. I'm freely sort of painting my pages in the beginning, because while I have I sort of have a feel and a way that I want the comic to look, but I don't really have a style in how I'm actually gonna, I'm not even sure if this makes any sense, but I don't have a style in how I'm actually gonna like paint the comic yet. And I've sort of been borrowing a lot of stuff from my previous 2 webcomics and doing this one. So so the rest of the details of that panel I really highlight in what I'm painting. I actually don't have to really get anything in, get anything in here just yet. So like I said, part of that will be done when I get in the painting phase as well. So I'll hold off on that one as well. Let's go ahead and skip down to the 3rd one. I'll come back to the 2nd one when I start blocking the colors in. I'm also going to need to open up another file, because I'm going to need the colors of another character in a little while. And I may show off, it'll be spoiling a lot before I actually show my comics, but I really don't care. I may show the first page that I did. And the way I drew his afro for this particular character is very similar to how I drew Brainbuster in my last comic. Also, I'm not sure what really possessed me to do this, but I don't want to say that my comic has a chibi feel to it, but I guess it, well, in a sense, I guess it does. The big head, little body type look to the comic. Not sure what possessed me to make all the characters look like that. But that's the style that I'm sort of going for here. It's also weird looking at my line art. It's been so long since I've had to do pages. Like little habits that I need to break from before. Just the way that I used to do old pages. And then also there's weird stuff like what I just had to deal with in going back and having to redraw the same lines over and over just because they're not really lining up right. And that just comes from flaws in how I actually drew the panel or sketched the panels out before I scanned it in. I'm having to correct when I'm making the full-on pages. And if anybody's wondering about the specs of the page itself, I'm actually for the, I guess, the size of the pages and whatnot that I'm using, I'm actually going off of the print templates from Kablam. I did a video on them before, but Kablam.com. Look them up if you haven't. They also are in connection with, or they might be the exact same company with IndiePlanet.com. that actually distributes and prints out and sells comics, be it webcomic or do it in digital format or whatever. I'm actually using them. The actual specifics of it is 300 resolution, and the width is 7 inches and the height is about 10.5. That's sort of also the size that I sketch out my pages in before I scan them in Photoshop in the first place, just to make sure I can line it up evenly with the template when I start to draw. I can see ahead of time what's going to get cut and what's not going to get cut when I start drawing. I also used to feel like this was cheating a lot. As you notice, I'm using the pen tool quite a bit. I really used to look at this as cheating because it's like you're, in a sense, not actually drawing. You're using the pen tool to actually make the lines for you. But I've gotten out of that stupid mindset, and I don't look at it as cheating at all. Think smarter, not harder, I think is what the phrase is. And I'm trying to think as smart as humanly possible. So yeah, I'm not trying, especially with the way this tablet occasionally will act up, I'm not trying to depend solely on my hand stroke to get some of these lines looking correct. It's not like using an actual pen where I can get the correct feel the way that I'm actually drawing it. Sometimes my tab will just do whatever it wants to, and it gets very frustrating, especially when you're trying to get numerous pages of other pieces of artwork or whatever done. So to avoid that, a lot of the times I'll just go ahead and use the pen tool. It's like my best friend in Photoshop. Also, for anyone asking, I'm using Photoshop CS4, a very old version of Photoshop at this point. is amazing. It wasn't at the time that I got it, but they're very old now. But it gets the job done for me. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they actually have free versions of Photoshop now. Or maybe not necessarily free, but I think they have trial versions of Photoshop. And I actually heard from somewhere, and I haven't checked on this in a long time, so I have no idea, but I believe they do a subscription service for Photoshop. So you, instead of paying like $1,000 for the program, you can pay X amount of dollars a month, and you'll have access to the program, which is pretty cool. I know for a while when I first started going to college and I just wanted to get my hand on any type of software that I could find when I first went to school in game animation, I actually grabbed, what was it, Manga Studio? Not even Manga Studio, I think I grabbed Anime Studio and Photoshop Elements. For a while there, I was doing all of my artwork in those programs. Boy, was it hard for me to paint using Elements. This is part of the reason why I love the pen tool so much, because it wasn't in Photoshop Elements. Boy, it's definitely made my life easier. Now, let's see what we got. Like I said, most of these details will really be coming out in the painting phase of this page. Sort of the sneak preview right now to my first page of my new comic. Simply because I need to know what my colors look like and where certain details were on the page. So this is actually my first page that I completed. And once again, working smarter and not harder. I'm just right now, after I save this, I can't believe I haven't saved anything up to this point. Making things easier on myself rather than try to remember all of my colors from the previous page. Just go ahead and eyedrop them in. Sort of grabbing the eyedropper tool and filling the colors in that way. Make it much easier. Eliminate some of the guesswork from what exactly my colors were on the previous page. Like I said, I definitely appreciate anybody that's watching this. I'm not even sure if you all like this format of me sort of painting my pages in real time. I'm actually going to do two of these. I'm going to do one which is going to spoil the first two pages of my comic, but I'm going to do one sort of what's going on right now. Double click too many times. I'm going to do one silent and upload it, and I'm going to do another one sort of breaking down. Well, not even breaking down, because I'm not really breaking down what I'm doing right now. I'm just sort of rambling, but just to have some audio to accompany what I'm doing right now. So we'll see how that sort of goes along, depending on which ones that you all like better or which ones people respond to more. I'll sort of go along with those in the future. Whether you like the silent ones or you'd rather listen to me babble the entire time, and I don't know why. Okay. But for whatever reason, the screen sort of kept moving. I don't know if I was pulling the opposite side of the panel apart or not. Or the scroll bar, I should say, in Photoshop. It just kept moving. It's really starting to bug me. Alright. Might have to go back and shade the side of the toilet in another color. Just from looking at the way that I did it in the previous page. I may have to, I may not have to, we'll see. And I've now discovered a problem. Let's see here. Get rid of these eyeballs. Basically what I'm doing right now is, once again, it's like a drawing flaw. I'm fixing where his actual eyes are looking. In this panel, simply because for what's coming on the later pages, it wouldn't have made any sense for him to be looking below him, given what's happening right in front of his face. So for whatever reason, I cannot draw a circle right now. Slow down now. There you go. It's not perfect, but it's acceptable like that. Here. Now also may show off the cover for this comic. I guess me painting it in real time. Haven't done that yet because I have yet to actually start on my cover. Have a couple different ideas for it, but I haven't started on anything yet. Okay. Now on the back front. And also, not sure if I explained this earlier, but one thing that I like to do is use the, and for a lot of people that work on comics themselves, they may already do this. I may not be giving out any type of like hidden secrets or nothing, but what I like doing most of the time is just using the magic wand tool and selecting the pieces of the picture that I need colored. That way I don't have to worry as much about making sure I'm coloring in between each and every line and then having to go back and erase and clean stuff up. This makes things slightly easier. And I like the magic wand tool more than quick selection because it'll select everything in a sort of isolated space. As opposed to me having to select a whole bunch of different parts of an area, which sometimes happens with the quick selection tool, sometimes it doesn't. Like that, the way that it just selected everything, like I really don't even understand. Like just now I used the quick selection tool as an example. I have no idea how I selected anything. It's like missing whole colors, but not like I don't know, I don't really get it. Here with the magic wand tool, bam, I click on the color, it selects the color and nothing else. It makes things a hell of a lot easier for me. Now what I'm about to do, and this is just for my own brain, this is just bothering me some. I hate when you can see, when you can see the little lines from, I guess, the white background in between the colors of the picture. It really bugs my eyes. I don't even think that shows up on the finished product, but just seeing it while I'm drawing really irks my nerves, so I select inside of each of my panels and I just make that area black, which if you can see over here to the right where it says background, you can almost see like 3 black squares exactly where they're lined up on the picture, because behind the coloring that I just did, I just put a solid black background where those weird little lines are showing up at. And like I said, I don't think even if I saved it with those lines showing up in the background, I still don't think they'd be there, but while painting, it shows up and it bothers the hell out of me. Alright, so let me go back in this panel, start filling out detail. I want to get right about here where his hair is and color out of the window. Alright. Clear the guides. Orange color. Start doing some of the details. This outfit. I can get rid of that. Get that out the way. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Okay. And this is what I meant earlier by saying those intermittent moments where I just get completely quiet and I'm no longer talking because I'm concentrating. Now I arrive to that point of the paint. I keep calling it paint, and I am painting my comic in a sense. Once again, I may be overdoing stuff right now, but just for my own, as peace of mind for the way that I like my shadows done, or the way that I like my lines to pop out, I go ahead and sort of shade off of small little lines of detail that I have inside of my panels. Or I guess for my drawings, I should say. I also do this for speed paints as well. I don't know why. It just looks right to me. And I guess it's closer to how I actually draw. Okay. Also probably help if I got closer into the picture and not try to paint this so far away. Or stuff like that happens. Also come to realize that I have a very crude art style too, or sort of turned into this over time. I really don't care, like the way it looks. It's just sort of harsh lines for the, I guess, shading and details of it. I guess you could say they're really unrefined lines, but I like them. It sort of makes my artwork look different. Almost makes it look like my own, for better or for worse. draw this. I think I was still a child sitting up giggling drawing this right now. I don't know why I feel like I'm forgetting something with this picture too. Probably won't hit me until after I've already finished this one. I haven't shade. Oh, why do I keep doing that? Now, normally I'll actually go ahead and just keep shading for each of my panels. I'm sort of in the zone with this one right now, so I'm not going to skip ahead until I get this one done. So like I already have the shading somewhat done for this panel, or I guess for pieces of it, so I go ahead and start to work on the next panel and then come back to it. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do the whole thing right here at this point. Start doing my highlights. Actually, no, I'm not. Oh my god. And while I'm even thinking about it, save. Horrible habit of mine to not save nowhere near as often as I should. It's like you can never save too much, but especially the way with my computer is, if something was to just stop working while I was in the middle of this page, especially considering the amount that I've gotten done without saving, I think I probably would have lost my mind. And for anybody that's familiar with my work at this point, one of my favorites have returned. This panel, stars. And I actually wasn't supposed to do that on that panel. I mean, on that layer. But whatever. It's done at this point. Oh, a little overzealous with the tab. And I did it again. Stop doing that. Banged my hand against the freaking desk and it just hurt like hell. Damn. thought about another problem, but I guess I'll fix that when I come to it. May not be that big of a problem. My highlights in this panel. Let's start adding the complicated stuff. So, there's some action in question. Not sure how this is about to turn out. figure out the best way that I want this. start naming some of these layers so I know what I'm doing here. Effects in. I feel like I should darken some of the other areas some, especially if that's supposed to be so light. May end up ruining this picture. Reddish color. Too crazy. I actually like the way that looks. It's a little demonic, but it works. Actually came out a lot better than what I was envisioning. Oh crap, so now I have a new problem. I have to change the color of my other panels. So, let's see. Actually, I may not have to do that. I think I literally just said that I need to start labeling these layers. I almost confused myself by not knowing what was supposed to be which. do this like I did the other one. I was trying to avoid having to do that second time, but it seems like I have no choice. Actually, no, I think I do this twice. Making goofy little effects like this is really fun too, especially when it starts to piece itself together. Details might start to get sketchy. Because this is supposed to look a little hazy, I may be able to cheat with this one. Cheat a little, I may be cheating a lot here. Really cheating right now. sort of looks like he's starting to try and come back in focus. That action. It's crazy. Works for me. Okay. Panel, I don't get as much that I read here. Almost like it's the villains coming into focus. The little weird red light is dimming down a bit. So many open layers, I'm confusing myself. It's the exact reason why you name stuff. Alright. So it should be slightly easier the rest of the way. I should be just about I don't know who this mustache is reminding me of either. I feel like it makes this character look like something or someone. Ah. I hate when I accidentally right click by mistake with the tablet. This has to be like the worst restaurant stop ever, by the way. All these crazy effects and stuff that I just put into the panel. All this mess is taking place in the bathroom. Like, what am I doing right now? Alright. And that is pretty much it. Do I want to get really crazy and ask for the shiny little light until we got last panel? Well, if you want it to look like it's going away, it is quite jarring, but it's not that bad. May actually be overkill, but I'll try to use it. See what it looks like. Okay. Alright. I think this is about it for my second panel. So that was a glimpse into the second page of my comic, Infinite Uppercut. That is still a working title. I'm still not sure if I'm sold on that yet. Yeah, I am. That's the title. So yeah, the second page of Infinite Uppercut. And for anybody that's lasted this long to watch me ramble through and then stop rambling through the entire painting of this comic and enjoyed it, thanks very much. Leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, all that good stuff. And you all have a good one. And I'm out.